We're only a few weeks away from winter break across the Naperville area, and there's plenty of action to be covered in this week's episode of Naperville Sports Weekly. Hello everyone, I'm your host Joe Kennedy, and let's first begin on the hardwood. We saw the conference season begin last week in IHSA basketball. Two of the area's top teams square off this week. Let's head to Waubonsie Valley where the undefeated Warriors host Metea Valley. The Eola Road rivalry is back for another season, and this one tips off with Waubonsie Valley hosting Metea Valley early in the season. Both teams split the regular season series last year. In a packed house, Metea Valley gets the scoring started with a three from Alex Daniel, but the Warriors quickly respond with a Matthew Sessom three. The student section erupts as Tyree Coleman drives and finds a cutting Moses Wilson on the baseline for a two-hand flush. Wilson is there again for the Warriors with a driving layup and shows up on defense, causing this turnover. The run of points continues for Wilson as this time he knocks down a three and is on his own 7-0 run for Waubonsie. Defense continues to be stout as Waubonsie capitalizes on another forced turnover, and Sessom's Eurostep makes it 12-5 for Dub V. Treshawn Blissett gets a block which leads to a run out for Wilson and a 16-5 commanding lead at the end of the first. Flipping the script, the Mustangs open the second quarter on a 7-0 run as Jake Nosek makes a pair of tough jumpers and only trails 16-12. Blissett ends the run with a layup and gets another basket with this fading mid-range shot. In the final seconds, Wilson beats the buzzer and has 12 points at half. The crowd is loving this Warriors lead as they're up 26-15. Metea Valley is finding some rhythm. They get a basket from Daniel and only trail 32-21. With a 3-on-1 fast break, Coleman leaves it off for Wilson, who throws it down, reigniting the crowd. Metea Valley, crawling back into the game, go inside to Will Ashford as he puts it up and gets the bucket to go for the and one. Mustangs trail by 8. Nosek gets multiple defenders to jump and makes an off-balance three for his 11th points, bringing the Mustangs within 5. James Parker does it himself off a rebound, knocking down a pull-up jumper, making it a one-possession game and forcing Waubonsie to take a timeout. But that run doesn't last much longer for the Mustangs, as the fourth quarter is all Waubonsie. Coleman ices the game with this running floater and then a full-court pass. Waubonsie Valley defeats Metea Valley 52-39. Coming up after the break, we'll show you the same schools matching up with one another, but this time it's the girls' teams in action.
It's a robotic money expert.
Clever. How do I start a savings habit?
Famous cabbage.
Savings habit.
Shaving rabbits.
Tech can make life simpler, but when it comes to savings habits, nothing's as simple as BMO. A BMO savings account helps you build the habit with a cash reward every month you save.
Cash reward. Ingenious.
Sardine fest.
This year's top prize goes to BMO.
I'm just in it for the saving, but it's nice to be recognized.
BMO.
What's the matter, boy? What are you trying to tell me? Is something wrong?
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something.
Naperville Animal Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report a case of animal cruelty and neglect.
Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves.
The Eola rivalry hits the court for a DVC matchup with the Metea Valley Mustangs hosting the Waubonsie Valley Warriors. The Mustangs look to snap their losing streak, while the Warriors are on a 2-game winning streak and hold a 7-1 record. In the first, Warrior Lily Newton grabs the offensive rebounds, hits a tough layup, and gets the foul. The Warriors lead 6-0 early in the game. The Mustangs look to respond as Lucy Burke delivers a nice pass to Kelly Klisch, and she hits the layup. Mustangs are down by 4. Warriors are on a big run here as Cobb dishes the rock to Daniela Porcozo as she drains the three. Dub V goes up 13-2. On the next offensive possession for the Warriors, Porcozo gets the rebounds and takes on two Mustang defenders before passing it to Ariana Garcia. She buries the three from downtown as the Warriors close out the first quarter with a 24-4 lead. The Mustangs look to get their offense back on track, and leading the way is Lucy Burke as she nails this three-pointer. Mustangs have possession here on offense as Annie Burke finds Lucy Burke open, and she hits another three-pointer off the glass and in for Mattia. The Mustangs, however, still trail by 20. It's been raining threes in this quarter as the Warriors have the ball now. Hannah Lobb finds Cobb, and she drains the three to give Dub V a 39-10 lead. The Warriors aren't finished yet as they look to build on this lead. Porcozo gets open and makes this jumper look easy. Wabanzi Valley takes a 48-11 lead going into the half. The Warriors are cruising through the third quarter with some solid passing. Maya Pareda finds Garcia, who gives it to Lobb, and she gets some help from the glass to seal 2 points for Wabanzi. Porcozo drives down the lane here and dishes the rock to Newton, and she drains the three for the Warriors to close out the third quarter with a 69-14 lead. Despite the big deficit, the Mustangs keep pushing as they try to get something going on offense. Lucy Burke passes the ball to Srihitha Dugirala, and she hits the jumper. Wabanzi's offense is just too much to handle tonight as Lobb attacks the basket to make the layup off the backboard for two. The Warriors win 79-16 over their rivals and move to 2-0 in conference play. Coming up, Naperville Central and Neuqua Valley Wrestling face off in a DVC matchup. See how that clash unfolded before we give you an inside look at the growth of girls wrestling throughout the area.
Local news is your lifeline. Let the Daily Herald help you navigate your world with solid reporting, good advice, and a much-needed diversion or two.
Oh yeah, I'll take one of your specials, my man.
There you go, princess.
We were there when you explored questionable street meat.
Maybe read the reviews next time?
We were there for that, and we're here for everything else. Here it's personal, because we get to know you.
It's senior night at Neuqua Valley as the Wildcats honor their senior grapplers before hitting the mats against Naperville Central. The Redhawks fly in red hot after a sweep in the St. Charles East Megaduels. At 113 pounds, Jacob Cochran continues his strong start to the season by bringing Brady Podracki to the ground, locks him up in the cradle, and pins him to fire up the Hawks. At 126, Red Hawk Ty Martin is back for another rodeo by rolling Colin Foley into the half Nelson, and that's all she wrote in the match. The official taps the mat, and Martin gets the pin. At the 150 match, Central's Hagen Taylor adds on to the firepower by spinning his way and riding the bull on Curtis Burke, and you can guess what Taylor does from here. Yep, you shouldn't be surprised by the result. Chris Byrne is off to a challenging start in the 157-pound match with Des Nuradinov. The two lock hands later on, but Byrne is able to drive him into the half and keeps piling up the pins. To 190, featuring Max Nuradinov getting a takedown on Jacob Smethers to beat the first period buzzer. A close match the whole way, but Smethers turns it around and sneaks his way to a victory. Final match of the night is the heavyweight bout with Will Urbeck wanting a pin for himself, and he gets it on Ethan Scheck. Those pins help the Hawks to a dominating 69-0 win.
I think we did good. I wasn't expecting, thought Nico was going to get that forfeit, but we're warming up. We're taught to always stay ready and went out there.
Today, I want to work on technique today, and I believe I was able to accomplish that out on the mat there. I was able to get good moves in. I was focused on that. Don't do anything stupid, obviously, but I was able to do great out there on the mats. We learned how to work harder with hand fighting. Hand fighting's been a big key role for us here. the more we hand fight, the better we're going to get throughout the season. And with it being returning guys, it's all just working our little differences. Whatever we're struggling with, we'll help each other out throughout matches and practices.
Waubonsie Valley Wrestling gets set to host Metea Valley in an early season matchup. The Warriors lost their first conference meet to Naperville Central, while this is the Mustangs' first DVC match of the season. Starting off with a 190 matchup between Xavier Badone and Nazar Yevolmenko. Badone avoids the takedown as he reverses the roles, picking up the pin, giving the Warriors an early win. At 215, we have Josh Hassauer facing off against Maurice Mora. At first it's Mora with the strong position, but Hassauer rolls him straight into a pin, extending the Warriors' early lead. Next up is a 285 match between Leo Hobson and Brady Jones. At first it's Hobson who gets 3 takedowns in a row, putting him up 6-0. But finally Jones finds the right position as he comes from behind to win via pin, putting Metea on the board. Going down to 132 pounds with Evan Watchtowicz and Jaden Amin. This was a quick match for Watchtowicz as he picks up the early pin and the victory. Joining in on the action with the 138 matchup between Kasdan Obert and Juan Arroyo, as Arroyo makes quick work of this match, winning via pin. Moving along to 144 pounds as Ethan Watchtowicz takes on Adrian Wadis-Lewis. Watchtowicz would come out of the gate strong, picking up 8 early points. In the end, it's Watchtowicz walking away with a dominant 15-0 win over Wadis-Lewis. Continuing the meet with the 150 match of Desmond Stribley and Austin Wadis-Lewis. The Mustang gets Stribley down as he rolls him into position for the pin. Wadis-Lewis picks up a big win late on for Metea. Finishing the night with the 157 weight group of Tyler Verge and Ryan W. The Warrior and Verge finishes this match quickly, winning via pin. That would help Waubonsie Valley walk away victorious with a 58-18 win over Metea Valley.
Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed with how the match went. I know it ended up in my win, but it's not how I wanted the match to go. I'm not really great at tie-ups, but the first thing I did in that match was go straight into a tie-up. It's not something I like to do. I should have stuck to my own stuff and worked my own moves, but I'm glad it ended up in a pin. I'm actually pretty happy with where we're at right now. Compared to some past seasons, I think we're doing great. We've got a good team morale. There's a lot of good chemistry around the team, and I think as a whole we're really improving, and I like to see the way we're going.
Boys wrestling has been an IHSA sport since 1938, making it one of the oldest in the state. Meanwhile, girls wrestling is one of the newest, with most of our local schools developing varsity teams over the past few years. NSW's Patrick Cotto has more on the rise of girls wrestling in our latest feature story, sponsored by Edward Elmhurst Health.
On February 11th, 2022, the IHSA launched its first ever girls wrestling sectional, setting the stage for the first state tournament for female grapplers to earn medals of their own. Following 2 seasons of successful tournaments, the amount of not only female wrestlers, but schools with enough participants to field full teams has grown rapidly. To add more excitement, this will be the first season where the sport will have a regional round in addition to sectionals and state. Thanks to the expansion, the Naperville area has experienced a similar increase as local teams have seen their numbers grow and grow in recent years. Some girls have been wrestling for a long time, while others are new to the sport, but we're excited for the opportunity to compete once the IHSA made things official.
Last year I was the only girl on my team, so when I started becoming part of this community and meeting girls from different schools, I really wanted this opportunity for Nequa and kind of just to open this kind of door of opportunity. We have 5 girls now, and I'm really happy with how that's going so far, and the season's been going really strong so far, and we've been working really hard.
I have never wrestled before in my life. My friend told me that I should come to practice, try it out, because usually I would be doing theater, but I was still in that sportsy kind of vibe, and I wasn't feeling theater, so he was like, you should come to wrestling tryouts, and I was like, okay. And the next thing I knew, I was on the wrestling team.
Schools like Naperville Central, which was one of the few local schools to have wrestlers compete in the inaugural sectional in 2022, have started up a varsity girls team. Naperville North, Metea, Waubonsie, and Neuqua Valley all have at least some female wrestlers, if not a full roster. The schools are bringing in athletes who want to get most of the experience while building a foundation for these new programs to thrive for years to come.
We all start somewhere. Girls wrestling hasn't been around for a long time, but we're all growing in a different way. The one thing I like is just the competitiveness from all these different girls that I wrestle.
Wrestling in general during the winter is a great opportunity to be involved in a sport if you're not involved in one during the winter. For any girls that just want to become a part of such an amazing community of such disciplined people, I think wrestling is a great opportunity. We take everyone without experience. All the girls this year are brand new and they've already been doing so amazing. They've already won matches, so a lot of potential.
New competitors like Waubonsie Valley Junior Sophia Peranto, who qualified for state in doubles tennis this fall, is giving wrestling a go for the first time. Despite the Warrior trying out a new sport, she has already built a close bond in the wrestling room.
We work with each other very well. We're with each other, for example, if I relate this back to tennis, varsity practices with varsity, and we never interact with JV or any of the other teams. Wrestling, we practice with JV, freshmen, girls, and I've been wrestling with fellow girls. I've been wrestling some guys. I wasn't expecting the experience that I've been given.
The male wrestlers are excited about the growth of the sport as well and believe everyone deserves a chance to dream, believe, work, and succeed on the mats.
It started off really small for us. There was only 2 girls for us when it first started, and now we got an actual little team with us here today. We got around 8 players now, and I gotta say, everybody's working hard, they're improving, and the more we work, the more people we can get out here, the better. I'm glad wrestling is growing as a sport, honestly. I'm glad we're kind of building back up.
I love it. I think it's a great thing, and I love seeing all the new girls coming out wrestling, and it really shows it's not just a one sport thing. Everyone can do it, and I think it's great.
Those trying out the sport for the very first time knew it was going to be full of life lessons and growing pains. But those who now have a season under their belts feel more confident and are ready to start piling up the wins.
I've gained a lot of discipline. I've gained a lot of confidence. I kind of showed myself that I'm capable of them a lot more than I thought I was before. I never could have imagined if you told me freshman year that I'd be able to start this girls team and be a part of it, being the only female on the team. So it's really been an incredible opportunity.
As the numbers keep growing, and with the addition of more teams, duels, and tournaments, the sport of wrestling is set up for a bright future in the Naperville area and the state of Illinois.
I'm excited to just get more girls involved in the sport, for us to eventually have full teams and have duels, being more recognized as a sport. I got a lot of negative comments last year. A lot of people didn't really believe in what I was doing, especially being the first one. A lot of that's changed this year with the team growing, and it's gotten a lot better. But I'm very excited to see the future for girls wrestling. I think it has a lot of potential.
For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Patrick Cotto.
Naperville Central hosts Neuqua Valley basketball, where we have Aaron Hackett providing an immediate spark to the Red Hawk offense. In the opening minutes of the first quarter, Naperville Central's Aaron Hackett makes not 1, not 2, but 3 straight threes to start the contest. The Red Hawk was feeling it to start the game, and it transitioned to 21 points on the night overall. Hackett, the sophomore, continues to impress this season for the Red and White.
It's a robotic money expert.
Clever. How do I start a savings habit?
Famous cabbage.
Savings habit.
Shaving rabbits.
Tech can make life simpler, but when it comes to savings habits, nothing's as simple as BMO. A BMO savings account helps you build the habit with a cash reward every month you save.
Cash reward. Ingenious.
Sardine fest.
This year's top prize goes to BMO.
I'm just in it for the saving, but it's nice to be recognized.
BMO.
Naperville Central bowler Nate Taverna became the program's all-time leading scorer this week with 51,199 pins scored. Let's see how the junior and his Red Hawks did against crosstown rivals Naperville North. It's round 2 of the crosstown boys bowling matchup between Naperville North and Naperville Central. The Red Hawks are looking to pick up their 6th consecutive win against the Huskies and enter at an 8-1 mark on the season. Naperville North is looking to spark a match in this District 203 rivalry and split the season series with the Red Hawks. We start things off with Red Hawk Tommy Creightonpoth picking up where he left off the last time as he shatters the pins over for a strike on his way to a 6-1 series. Alex Leakus is back in the starting lineup and wastes no time energizing the team with a strike of his own. He finishes with a 483 series overall. Aiden Lee also gets things rolling here as this strike blows the pins up as part of a 212 score in Game 2 and a 552 overall series. Spencer Pierpoint's solid year on varsity continues as his shot does just enough to keep the 5 and 6 pins down for the strike. He ends the day with a 523 overall series. Getting the nod to varsity in Game 2 is Oliver Gardner, who gets the spare to boost his confidence. Later in the game, Gardner sends the pins flying for a strike. His first 2 games on varsity end with a 164 and 165 score. Nate Taverna would provide most of the fireworks for Central. This shot in Game 1 is dead center in the pocket for the strike as he ends Game 1 with a 212 score. Taverna would get things going later on as he knocks this down for one of his 11 strikes in Game 3 for the team best score of 266. He ends the day with a 650 series. The Huskies are now up and hungry to knock down some pins. Andy Sullivan gets a strike here as he ends the game with a 160 score. Ian Rogers also provides some of the excitement as his shot is able to carry to the pocket for the strike. Rogers finishes the day with a 336 series. Here we see Johnny Hedges, who knocks the pins over like dominoes for the strike. Hedges finishes the game with a 164 score. Stephen Thompson would join in on the fun as well, as his shot does just enough to knock the 7-pin down and finishes the game with a 159. Leading the way for the Huskies is Max Alexandrov as his strike shot clears the pins off the map. Alexandrov leads the Huskies with a 494 overall series. Holden Randall is faced with a 1-2-4-10 and he gets tricky, sending the front 3 flying to the 10-pin for the pickup. Randall would also be vital on first ball shots as this one dunks the pins over like a wave and finishes the day with a 431 overall series. However, it wouldn't be enough as Central picks up their 6th consecutive win over the Huskies, moving to 9-1 on the season.
We're prepared. I feel like we're ready for this. I feel like we just need to work on some things, fine-tune some stuff, iron some stuff out, practice. But I feel like if we keep doing that, stay strong mentally, I feel like we'll be locked in for regional, sectionals, and hopefully state. And I feel like we can.
I was just trying to focus, just trying to keep my pre-shot routine the same, just take a breath, focus on my mark, just throw a good shot and hopefully execute. And fortunately, it didn't happen in the 9th frame.
The Metea Valley Mustangs and Waubonsie Valley Warriors meet up in the Eola rivalry in girls bowling. Both teams won their DVC openers as the Mustangs took down DeKalb and the Warriors beat Naperville Central. In Game 1 of the series, Trudy Wang leads us off for the Warriors as she hits this strike to get off to a good start. Wang ends the series with a score of 435. Next is Cassette Canal for the Mustangs, and she rolls this one down to get the spare. She ends the night with a score of 305. Sam Weirtelek is now up to bowl for Waubonsie, and she easily knocks down this strike. Weirtelek finishes Game 1 with a score of 184. Moriah Greenwood is up next for Metea, and she buries this strike. She would finish with a series score of 427, second best for the black and gold. Maya Zatlukol is up for the Warriors and crushes this strike. She finishes Game 1 with a score of 182. Wrapping up Game 1 is Abby Cott, and she knocks down 3 pins for the spare. Cott ends the evening with a 426 series for Mattia. In Game 2, Maya Moore is up for the Mustangs, and she gets the strike. She finishes the night as the top scorer for Mattia with a series score of 473. Back for the green and gold is Zatlukol, who puts a nice spin on this ball and hits the pin for the strike. She's the Warriors' top scorer in Game 2 with a score of 217. Next for the Warriors is Lauren Bormhoff, who nails this strike confidently to close out Game 2. Bormhoff ends the night with a series score of 496. On to Game 3, and it's Avery Call who rolls this ball down the right side of the lane for the spare. Call gets a series score of 376. Jade Williams is up next for the Mustangs, who bowls a strike. She closes out Game 3 with a score of 140 and a series score of 398. Zatlukol is up again, and she delivers another strike for the Warriors. She closes out Game 3 with a score of 200 and is Wabanti's top scorer with a series score of 599. Finally, Sam Wiertelek is up, and she gets the 10 pin to go down for the strike. She closes out the night with a 168 and is Wabanti's second leading scorer with a 541. The Warriors take this one by 213 pins to get their second conference win on the season.
I feel like we've been doing pretty good. Like I've said before, we have a few new bowlers and a few returning bowlers, and I feel like we've been doing pretty well for where we were last year compared to where we currently are this year.
I know going first during the match, I have to give a good start because that energy feeds off into other teammates. So having a good start really helps our teammates grow and also have a good start. So I just got to make sure I come out and start off strong, and then everyone else goes strong. I think we're feeling pretty good. Having a really strong start against Central, then coming out and having another good start against Mattia.
Our boys' play of the week comes from Waubonsee Valley's Moses Wilson, who throws down the slam against Mattia Valley. Waubonsee leads 34-21 with just under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. The Mustangs put up a shot, but it's off the mark, and the Warriors have numbers on the break. Tyreek Coleman leads the way and dishes one to Wilson, who rises to the occasion for the dunk. A great play to extend the Warriors' lead, and the crowd loved it. Let's take one more look at the play by Wilson and his teammates. Another Sunday, another show of NSW is completed. That wraps things up, but you can find all our highlights, previous feature stories, and community sports on nctv17.org and our NCTV17 Sports YouTube channel. You can also find us on social media at NCTV17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy.